Sometimes, all you want is a quiet place to relax. On a whim, Vitaly and I decided we wanted to take a quick road trip somewhere, just for a change. The rainy season has set in recently, but on a warm, sunny Sunday, we packed up our surfboards and a change of clothes, and off we went. Destination: Balian, a small charming village with a black sand beach, supposedly with very few tourists, in southwest Tabanan, Bali, Indonesia. When one is in Tabanan, what else is there to do but to try its specialty dish, Babi Guling? There are clusters of different warungs in Tabanan offering Babi Guling, all with just a slightly different recipe for cooking. And apparently they are all delicious. So we just chose one randomly this morning.
It's 10:38. Babi Guling for breakfast, so indulgent. We did see like so many different shops of Babi Guling as we were just shooting through on the motorbike. But they all have a different way of cooking, and they all have different spices, and it's all good. A little bit different, very yummy, so you must try. Okay, we made really quick work of the Babi Guling. I think it was like gone in 10 minutes flat. Are you ready to continue driving?
Yeah, let's go.
We veered off the main roads, since generally we enjoy the off-the-beaten-track Balinese scenery so much more. On the way to Balian, it already felt like teleporting back to a Bali that was some 20 years ago perhaps. There are quaint little Balinese villages, bridges over eddying rivers, acres and acres of rice paddy fields, cornfields, and just wonderful, lush Bali greenery. So good for the soul.
They say that Balian means healing in the Balinese language, and that this place has an amazing energy, and I couldn't agree more. You know, we've seen like really rural lifestyles, people just building temples, bathing in the rivers, working in the paddy fields with their, traditional hats. It's actually been a really amazing drive just on the way to Bali, and we're not even there yet.
Yeah.
so
nice.
Cool, yeah.
Now we stay in road. Nobody. It's so nice.
The scenery
so
is stunning.
Yeah, look at that.
On arrival in Balian, we checked into our accommodation for the night, Pondok Pitaya. We booked this off booking.com, paying 358,000 rupiah for one night, or about $25 US.
Super thirsty after that long ride and the hot, sweltering weather, so let's head to get a drink.
We tootled across to the poolside, conveniently located right on Balian Beach.
We have a coconut! Yay! Simple joys of life!
A quick dip, of course, to cool off from our long ride, and then checking out our surroundings. Balian has such an authentic, laid-back atmosphere. There's no shopping, no parties, no beach clubs here. Just a handful of surfers quietly hanging out. The place feels so untouched. A rare change from other areas like Canggu or Seminyak, even though these places were only a short bike ride away. The black volcanic sand on the beach creates such a dramatic landscape, juxtaposed against the brilliant jade green of the cliffs. We had the beach to ourselves entirely. This is a wonderful treat in Bali. This is a place for mental rest, to escape the crowds and the hustle and bustle of regular Bali. There was a Balinese traditional woodcutter at work right in front of the resort, and it was really interesting to see how he carried out his work. He carefully sorts out the wooden logs on the beach by size and shape. For their transportation, he had a specifically designed carrying pole that allows him to stack the logs. A clever design that remains harmonious with nature. A wonderful mellow vibe pervades Balian.
I'm really excited about dinner now. We are at a place called Tekor, Bali. It's quite highly rated on Google, and we ordered beef rendang as well as babi panggang bambu for dinner. The service looks good, the place looks amazing, and I'm excited to see what the food will be like.
Our dinner at Tekor, Bali, a plate of beef rendang, a plate of babi panggang bambu, with 2 drinks and a small dessert, came up to a total of 385,000 rupiah, or about $27. After dinner, in the rain, we headed back to our room for the night. Sadly, that was not so smooth sailing.
We were sticky from the whole day's activities, so we tried to take a shower. I kind of like walked in and stepped straight onto like a dead beetle, or I don't know, maybe it was alive, but I killed it accidentally, and so that didn't get me off to a great start. And it was so dim, I can't actually identify what it was that I actually stepped on and squished. And then guess what? What was supposed to be a shower, less a shower, more kind of like a heavy trickle. And on top of that, no hot water. So I had to get out of that whole bathroom, get dressed, and go out there and walk through the resort to try to find somebody to create that hot water situation. And the worst thing was, it's pitch black outside. It's completely dark. It was terrifying. And not to mention, when we first checked in, they gave us a room where the aircon wasn't working. When we took off the coverlet to get to the blanket to climb into bed, there was somebody's boot prints on the blanket. Thankfully, at least for the night now, we're in a room that has a comfortable temperature. The people are very nice. The staff are lovely. As always, local people are. Very, very sweet, very polite, very eager to help. But this has been really stressful, unfortunately.
In our experience booking budget rooms in Bali, it's usually very good value for money, and the basic comforts have always been there, if not more. Unfortunately, although the location of this particular resort was lovely, we can't say we'll be recommending this place as a place to stay to anyone.
We finished our morning surfing and now we are taking a leisurely stroll to breakfast, slightly tired out, but it's nice. It was really cool in the morning, very quiet, a couple of nice waves, and now you're hungry, yeah?
Yeah, now very hungry.
Bye.
Bye.
Breakfast was a quiet a la carte affair at another cafe nearby our accommodation, Casa Balian. A plate of breakfast like this was 55,000 rupiah with taxes. Totally, 2 breakfast plates with a smoothie and a pot of tea came up to 205,000 rupiah, or about $14. And after the satisfying morning meal, we set off for home. What we didn't factor in, though, was our journey being affected by the heavy Bali rains the night before.
Okay, we're supposed to drive down across that bridge, but it's actually all covered in water. Vitali's gonna try and maybe I will walk across.
So, a bit of a hairy moment there, but thankfully, Vitali's bravery got us and our things across easy.
I got off the bike because I was worried that it was too much load with the 2 surfboards and him and the motorbike, so I was stuck behind. And after I finished recording, I was just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna have to walk across. And I was so nervous, but thankfully at the last minute, this nice little van drives up with a very old Balinese couple, and they were so kind. The woman got up to place a small offering on one of the rocks right before the car crossed the bridge. So they looked at me, and then after that they figured out I wanted to get across as well, and they actually offered me a ride. So I kind of hopped into that van and rode across without getting wet. I was so grateful. Thank you, Balinese people, for being so kind and wonderful.
Terima kasih.
Of course, after that ordeal, we needed to eat to keep up our strength, you know. So we decided to have yet another go at a random Tabanan Babi Guling Warung because, you know, we just can't get enough.
Fried fish skin, crispy. How about that?
Super awesome! Very nice, very nice. Almost as nice as the salted egg yolk fish skin from Irving's. Oh, this is very good too. Addictive.
Terima kasih. Thank you so much.
Babi Guling.
Wow, it's amazing. First I'm gonna try this one. Whoa. Very amazing soup.
I think they cook very long time. The hunt for best Babi Guling in Bali continues.
Okay, this place is good and famous. Very nice.
Best for crispiness. Babi Guling skin. This is the crispiest skin what we try in Babi Guling.
Vidali was right. It really is the crispiest pork crackling that we've had. This is so crispy, it's like a tortilla chip. Wow! This is a superb plate. Amazing.
We were really impressed by Warung man Lari's Babi Guling. The juicy meat was so tender and had such rich flavor. And we could taste all the different spices blending together perfectly from the lawa, plus that pork crackling. So incredibly thin and crispy, so Moorish. Totally a guilty pleasure. But what's a little travel without some food adventuring, right? So there, my friends, was our quick little road trip to Balian. We hope you enjoyed this little travel adventure with us. Don't forget to click like and to subscribe to the channel to keep up with more of our Bali happenings. See you next video.